Let's recap the first episode of Batwoman. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Nostalgia. I'm CB Nostalgia, and this is our recap of the first episode of Batwoman. Just wanted to remind everybody to get in on our first contest. We're giving away a Blu-ray copy of Spider-Man Far From Home. All you have to do to enter is be subscribed, like this video, and leave a comment. Well, like we said in the review, if you love origin stories, you probably like this episode, because this was the full-fledged origin story. We got the training sequences, we got the flashbacks, but they did leave out some of the key pieces to keep the plot rolling forward. I also like Ruby Rose providing a lot of the voiceover for the expositional dialogue. That was perfect. Anyway, let's dive into the episode for a second. I thought it kicked off rather nicely. I love the fact that she was in this training session at the frozen lake, and retrieving the key and fighting her way out was kind of right in character. For me, it was really important to show this segment of the episode. This will hopefully crush all assertions that she's a Mary Sue. As a matter of fact, if you watch the episode, you start to realize she's rather well trained, probably could kick my butt. I am curious on who her little training master was. I'm not terribly familiar with her in the comics, and I hope he's kind of a subject of plot points in future episodes. If you're familiar with her father in the comics, he's a little different in the show. This Crow security is something interesting in the absence of Batman to protect Gotham. To me, I see it as a plot device. Doesn't really make a lot of sense, and kind of reminds me of the OCP in the old RoboCop days. But it's pretty clear the citizens are now living in constant fear, and the show even kicks off with a bat signal about to be turned off after Batman hasn't been seen for over 3 years. This is where we get introduced to the villain of the episode, Alice, along with her Wonderland gang, a la Alice in Wonderland. As the scene closes, they end up kidnapping one of the Crow officers, Sophie. And we are introduced to Kate's stepsister, Mary, in this episode. After calling Kate and letting her know Sophie has gone missing, we immediately see a flashback that helps explain the relationship between Kate and Sophie. I think it's pretty important to show how these two guys were set on two different paths, and some of the struggles Kate had to fight through in her life. I know there's going to be some eye rolls at some of these scenes, but I think they're pretty important. And for me, as a 40-some-year-old white guy, it didn't put me out of the show at all. Pretty much all the way up to the end of the episode, Kate's kind of constant rejection from her father is a pretty tight thread in the story. Her father won't accept him on the team and always insists she's not ready, no matter how many riddles she solves or how much she proves herself. This is what leads her really breaking into Wayne Tower and meeting Luke Fox. Once Kate's inside, she's able to make really short work of Luke Fox and obtain some information from the Wayne computers about the abduction of Sophie. As I said in the review, I really didn't care for the portrayal of Luke Fox in the show. A little weaker than the character really should be, but we'll have to see where they take him in future seasons. Once Kate deciphers some of the security footage obtained from the Wayne system computers and is rejected by the Crows team again, she heads out to rescue Sophie herself, and this is where she first encounters Alice. After kicking a little butt, she ends up captured, and after a short conversation with Alice herself, she's knocked unconscious, which leads her to waking up in an illegal clinic run by her stepsister, Mary. I thought that part of the show moved a little quick, but it did kind of give Mary a little more substance and character. It made her not feel like the sort of atypical, spoiled rich girl that you kind of felt like they were portraying her to be. Once she heads back to Wayne Towers, to me, that's where the show got a little interesting. We finally get to discover the Batcave. Once she descends in and kind of sees it from that first person, just discovered what is this old place perspective, she figures out that Bruce was Batman. Now, in the opening scene, we found out that Kate believed that Batman had abandoned her mom and sister to die on the accident on the bridge, making her feel like Batman really didn't care about regular people. But when she sees the work that Bruce has gone through to try to solve the mystery of her family's death, what happened, and discover her sister's body, all of that changes. I kind of liked how this turn happened, although it did feel a little fast. Made me wish we had about 20 more minutes in the episode so she could get more connected with Bruce's point of view and forgive him at a little more believable pace. The two big reveals at the end were pretty interesting. First fact that Sophie is now married and has a husband pretty much shocks Kate, and will clearly serve as a big plot device throughout the upcoming season. And then there's her sister Beth. Now, for me, I kind of saw this coming and I wondered about it really early. Now, at the end of the episode, when she's talking with Luke about her sister, he lets her know that Bruce never stopped looking for her sister, and follows up with an ominous "for what it's worth," which signaled the twist, because Beth isn't dead. If you noticed very carefully while you were watching the episode, when she throws one of those butterfly knives, there was a little ruby on it, and I actually picked this up. This is where we figure out that Alice is Beth. So clearly, Alice is not going to be a one-off villain. There's not much left to say about the episode. It looks like it's going to be worth a couple more watches. Hopefully the show will grow in character and grow on fans a little more. Tell me what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you press like below, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.